So, do we secretly just hate the super rich? Like, is your reaction to extreme wealth just petty jealousy? Or is it actually a hardwired, completely natural biological response? Let's dive right in. Psychologists actually call this ressentiment. It's this deep, slow-burning resentment toward people with power. And here's the crazy part. It's rarely about the money itself. It's actually deeply tied to human dignity and our tribal dynamics. Brain scans literally prove this. When we watch the super rich lose money, our brain's reward system lights up like a Christmas tree. It releases the exact same pleasure chemicals as when you get a pay raise. The classic ultimatum game perfectly explains why we do this. If someone splits $10 with you unfairly, you're hardwired to reject it. We will actively choose to walk away with $0 just to punish their greed. And when it comes to the super rich, it all comes down to scale. To put things in perspective, historian Rutger Bregman did the math. If you saved $50,000 every single year, it would take you 20,000 years to reach 1 billion. Insane, right? So how does that extreme scale warp a person's behavior? Well, behavioral studies show wealthier individuals statistically display less empathy. They're more likely to cut off pedestrians or, and you can't make this up, take candy meant for kids. But here's the kicker. We usually don't resent distant, abstract billionaires nearly as much as we do a coworker getting an unfair promotion. It's called relative deprivation, the acute sting of a peer getting ahead right next to us. This feeling creates four main psychological profiles: the fairness absolutist, the wounded one, the status griever, and the performer. But honestly, most of us are just a messy, complicated combination of all four. Zooming out to the bigger picture, Daniel Markovits outlines what he calls the meritocracy trap. The irony today is that even high-earning elite are trapped in miserable, heavily surveilled 80-hour work weeks. See, unlike old aristocratic wealth that was just built on extracting from others, modern meritocratic wealth demands constant grinding labor. Today's high earners are practically compelled to work endlessly just to maintain their status. And this systemic exhaustion bleeds right into philanthropy. You've got these massive, top-down billionaire initiatives, like the Bezos Earth Fund, standing in really stark contrast to the actual ground-level environmental crises we're facing. The data here is pretty striking. Top-down philanthropy often gatekeeps resources. Established big greens receive hundreds of millions of dollars, while all the grassroots environmental groups combined receive just a tiny fraction of that. But local leaders are fighting back. They're actively pushing against this top-down model, fighting to redistribute wealth and decision-making power directly into the hands of the communities that are actually impacted. Take the Fund for Frontline Power, for example. It's this bottom-up alternative where the community itself governs the capital for local climate solutions. No billionaires or massive corporate intermediaries pulling the strings. Economically speaking, this just makes sense. Empowering mid-skilled, middle-class labor, we're talking dental techs or Costco workers, is systematically far more efficient than relying entirely on a handful of totally exhausted elites. So remember that eye twitch we started with? It actually really matters. Visceral resentment is a massive historical catalyst. It's the exact feeling that successfully produced things like labor rights, antitrust laws, and progressive taxation. Basically, our biological anger at unfairness isn't just petty bitterness. It is the raw, absolutely necessary fuel required to demand real change and build far more equitable systems. Which leads us here. What will you build with your built-in fairness detector? It's time to take those ancient biological instincts and channel them into creating real, systemic solutions today.